Oh, hello! Welcome friends! Thank you for coming to my channel. I wanted to take a pit stop during my face routine and show you how I do my brows. I am taking an extra step today in showing how I groom them as well as how I pencil them in. I wanted to bake and put my foundation on first because when cutting hair, sweeping them away over powdered skin is a lot easier than sticky skin. And that's why I wanted to come on here all powdered up and done. So if you want to see how I cut my brows, tweeze, and pencil them in to get the finished result that you usually see, then keep on watching. Hello. Before we begin, let's talk about the tools that I use to groom my brows. You will need a spoolie. This is a small one. I think that came in a brow set that I had. I think it very useful because of the small handle. Is easier to maneuver around. A pair of brow scissors. These are from Tweezerman, and the way they're slanted makes it very easy to lay the blades along the skin while still being able to hold the handles with your fingers, because if it's all pressed against your face, it makes it very hard to open and close the blades. With this angle, you're able to open and close the blades while having complete control over the scissors. A little brush on hand, anyone will do, to whisk away the hairs that get cut off. And some tweezers. This is my second attempt because the first time I was totally out of frame. Very helpful. I'm making sure that now the brows are in the frame. First order of business, if you see any stragglers under your brow, that's where you go in with the tweezers to kind of pull out any of those hairs that clearly don't belong with the brow. I do need to get them waxed. I used to get them threaded, but that was during college when I was on Retin-A Micro, and it is recommended that when using a prescription strength retinol that you don't wax the skin because this wax will just pull one nice layer of skin off. But since being off of it, I found that waxing is okay on my skin. Yes, it gets a little red, but it's nothing dire that I have to consider threading over. I go to Boom Boom Brow Bar here at NYC, and I like how they sit you up so that you could actually see the brows head on, and that enables them to get a better picture of what shape they're creating. And also I like how they leave my hairs alone here on this border, because if you take them out, they're just going to yield a thinner brow, which is what I don't need. After we've tweezed the excess hairs, I take the spoolie and I start to brush down. You can see the hairs that are clearly too long, and the reason why I like my tail hairs to be shorter is because when I run the pencil through my brows, I don't want the pencil formula to catch on to those longer hairs and it not lay down smoothly. Thus, I find that the shorter hairs just kind of yield a smoother looking pencil application. After we brush down, you can see the hairs that need to be cut. So we're just gonna go in and also here on the tail, I'm sorry my camera is so in and out of focus. I don't think it's used to me being this close to it. But it is though when I do my shadows and my brow dances. So nonsense. I'm gonna brush the tail a little more. I wanna get that piece. But now we'll brush up. Before that, I'm going to take our handy dandy little brush and whisk away those hairs. When we brush up, you'll see the hairs that are still too long. So we got that one, we got that one. And it's not a whole lot. I wanted to let my hair grow from the last time I tried to film this video, but we got just enough to show what I do. Cut that, cut that, cut that, that. And having the spoolie is crucial because it allows you to see the work and also how to go in next. I think that's good. I think that's good. It looks a little crazy. This is simply just to help the pencil lay down smoother through the brow hairs, and you'll see when that happens what a difference it will make. Also, if you see any hairs between the brows, you could tackle those. I like to get it like right. Clearly, this is not where I want my brows to start. So I take out those hairs. Unless that's how you live your life. I mean, that's fine. This side gets a little tricky because I'm trying to go in from this angle, but I gotta make sure I'm not cutting what doesn't need to be cut. Or doesn't, what, you know what I mean. Here you see these are a little long, so I'm gonna try to nip those. Here we got some rogue hairs, though. Oh God. Brush out, see what we got. Also, I know we're out of the age of tutorials. Is very much reviewing new product, first impressions, hauls, unboxings. I still want to do tutorials because although there are tutorials all over the place, I feel I still don't have enough on my channel, and I want to film what's helpful to you guys. Let me know what you want to see from me, if it's how to do a smoky eye, despite the fact that there are a zillion how to do smoky eye videos on YouTube right now. If you still want to see some of those videos, I'll be more than happy to film. Alright, we're done with the grooming portion. Now let's get into the actual penciling. I'm using Benefit's Goof Proof Brow Pencil. I've used Anastasia, but I found that the Brow Wiz spoolie always breaks on me. And I haven't used her definer, which it looks like a sturdier, better design spoolie because it's not as thin as the Brow Wiz. I've just stuck to this because I've received tons of compliments on my eyebrows. I'm just used to how this works, and the color I feel is perfect for my hair and for my skin tone, and that's why I've just been repurchasing this brow pencil. I love that it has a spoolie on this end, and the reason why brow pencils have spoolies so that you're able to brush out the product. Usually when first applying a pencil, you start with those harsh lines, but with the spoolie, you brush them out and it softens the look. It has that triangular angle tip, which before I was skeptical about using, but now I've become used to it and can't use anything else. I still use their Precisely My Brow, which is a thinner pencil, much like the Brow Wiz. This gives me a much thicker brow, and I again just become used to using this design. What I usually like to do is map out where I'm drawing from. This corner, I'll start about here, and then we fill up this line. You see the holes and the unevenness here. But I'm not going to take out that hair. I'm going to leave it where it is and just draw in more brow. With very light pressure, I start to just draw the border of my brow. And that fills it up just enough. When I get to the arch, I take my time because sometimes I give myself not enough arch and it's a very, very thick brow. That's totally up to you. And it's funny, today I started at the bottom. I usually have been starting at the top. And when you start, or rather draw in the top, I like to brush down so you can see what needs to be filled. I start with the downward strokes to mimic the hairs up here first, to fill in those holes. Also, take note, my face, my skin is already powdered, which I think makes for a much easier brow pencil experience. When the skin is slick, the brow pencil goes all over the place and it's very hard to keep it where you need it to go. When the skin is powdered, it makes the pencil drier and yield a little more control. So just keep that in mind in terms of when you apply the brows before or after makeup. I then give myself an arch. So from here, I just meow. And you're like, wait, wait, you can see it. I know. It's gonna come together, I promise. And then I take the outward strokes, just pulling this top border all together. Now we brush up. And you see it kind of melts into the hairs. You might get a little brow from that, but I just whisk it away, no worries. Then I flip the tip and I start drawing the strokes up to mimic the front portion. And any holes that we have to address, that's where we go in here. Very light strokes. Anything that needs the pencil, I carefully graze over. And also, this part is really important because you want this portion of your brow to look the most hair-like. And you flip the spoolie to brush up to mimic those strokes and those hairs, pencil hairs. All right, that's one. I'm gonna go top first on this side. Of course, the goal is to create as even brows as possible, but as they say, brows are sisters, not twins. Especially each side of your face is very different from the other, and even my brows themselves are very different from one side to the other. So you try your best to be consistent with how you sketch them in, but know that they're not going to look exactly the same, and it's okay. I drew a longer tail on this side than I did on this side. It's just because this is how my hand went. But we could always fix that. And I'm applying a very light pressure. If you apply more and you draw a harsh line, it's harder to blend out. Now, what happens if you went overboard with the pencil and you have to fix your mistakes? That's where concealer comes in, and a lot of people, they clean up the bottom, also top edges of their brows to make them appear a lot cleaner. I like to do this because it also serves as just like a highlighting canvas for shadow or whatever you like to put on your brow bone. But also here, it covers up any of those very fine hairs that you maybe didn't pick up with your tweezers. And again, it just provides a much cleaner look and could also serve as your eye primer step. I love the NARS Soft Matte because it's matte and it's a little drier than a creamier consistency, and it just helps set my brow and not let the pencil run all over the place. I also have been loving this brush. It's my Ray Ray BH collab. It's a perfect size and it comes to a really nice point, which makes it really easy and precise to apply under the edge. I like to take some and I just bring it to my hand to warm it up a little bit. And then I carefully just drag it along the edge. Some people actually do this step first and then they go in with the pencil. It really all depends on what you're most comfortable with. There we go. Looking at this now, I could have gone in with more pencil on this portion of my brow, but you know what? Some days are definitely better than others. And from there, I brush down. It's very rare that I take the concealer to the top, but today I will because the pencil just went on the skin here, and I'm just, as an eraser, if you will, cleaning that up a bit better. here I brush down and then I use my fingers to blend it out. Keep in mind this step makes for a very glam brow. I wouldn't do this if trying to achieve a natural looking brow. I find with my eyeshadow looks, it pairs nicely with my halo eyes and any smoky eye I wish to do. But if you're looking to achieve a natural brow with hair and filling up your holes, then you don't need to take this step. But I like to because I just love this edge to look clean, and it also gives the brow bone a little bit of highlight. So it has multiple benefits, this step, but again, it's not crucial for you to do. You could also take foundation. You can take those highlighter pencils, those jumbo pencils that are designed to highlight under the brow. Some people take the brush just to the tip of the jumbo pencil and apply the product as such. I just been using my soft matte forever. So you see, I'm trying to match them up. This one I felt turned out better than this one, but this one is very tricky. For some reason, I try to even them out, but you do what you can. If you find that you can go in, for instance, I feel I could kind of give myself a little more here, right where the arch is. Right? And then I just bring it towards the front. Very light strokes. I'm not trying to mess up what I just did with the concealer, you know what I mean? But see, that kind of helped match up to this brow, and I feel they're more even now. I don't put a lot of product here because I want that to look hair-like. I am going to put a little more pencil here. I feel that could be a sharper edge. I'm going to put a little more here. Also going to clean up a little there. And there you have it, nicely groomed and penciled brows. Usually if I don't have to groom them, I just go in with a pencil and take it from there, draw in the shape. But this is generally how I've been doing my brows. I don't use pomades, I don't use powder. The only powder that I incorporate is the loose translucent powder that I use to set the concealer and just kind of punch it gently into this region so the pencil doesn't move throughout the day. But that's about it. I'm not good about, or I've tried it, I felt that I didn't have much success with pomades and small angled brushes. I sometimes practice time to time just to see how it goes, but the fastest way I get my brows on my face is with the pencil. Let me know down below how you do your brows, if this was helpful to you. But in the meantime, let's get on the rest of my face and I'll be right back. Rest of the face is on, brows are on, and let me know what you guys think. Typically, I usually just use a pencil. I have tried pomades and powders, but with my routine and as many steps involved as it is, I feel that using a pencil is the easiest way for me to get my brow shape. And I find that even though it's leaning towards more the glam side, I feel it's still fairly natural, not too crazy. Let me know down below what you use for your brows, how you create your brow shape, any tips and tricks that you found helpful to your application. Please share down below. Also share your favorite brow pencil. I yet have to find a drugstore alternative. One of you had mentioned that NYX has a great micro brow pencil, which I have tried. I have to swatch them in store because I think the color I bought was a little too warm for my brows. And again, it's great that it's a shade thing and not an actual formula. I liked the the dryness of the pencil, and I thought it very easy to use. I just had to find another shade for my brows. And as I said before, if there are any other tutorials, how-tos you want to see on my channel, I am coming at you with a skincare routine. I'm figuring out how to film it because I want to do my day and night routine as they are very different. Some steps are the same, but others are different, like the vitamin C in the morning and then the glycolic salicylic acid treatments at night. And I want to distinguish those from each other because day and night are very different, but I also want to share with you all the products that I use overall for both routines. Thank you friends so much for watching, and I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here with another tutorial how to get ready with me or chit chat or review. Take care and I'll see you then.